Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's about 1 o'clock, a little after, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Looks like I've got quite a good group on today, so I appreciate all of you being on for this really quick webinar. Just a few days, of course, after the holidays and still into another week with a holiday in it. So I appreciate you being here on this busy Monday. I'm sure all of you are trying to play catch up after taking some time off with your families. If you could, please, can you just let me know that all of you can hear me by using that raise your hand function? Good stuff. Great. Okay. While we go ahead and let a few more people get on the webinar, I'm going to go ahead and just put one of the polls up. Just kind of helps me really see what all of you are using for social media, and that way I can kind of know going forward what we should be doing some of these trainings on. So go ahead, and while we wait just another minute, I'm going to go ahead and put that poll up. You can choose more than one option, so go ahead and feel free to check all the things that you're currently using in your marketing. Okay, I'm going to leave that open for just a few more minutes. It doesn't look like everyone that's on has voted yet. Okay, just a few more seconds here. Looks like there's a lot of LinkedIn users, a lot of Facebook users, so that's great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that poll, and we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so like I told you with some of these webinars in the past, I like to keep these really short and sweet, something that you can just take a little bit of information and then move forward. I don't want to give you too much to go and try to implement into your daily business. But this is just going to be a very quick webinar based on really some quick tips for social media, some things that you can be doing, some things that maybe you shouldn't be doing moving forward. And really the big ones that we talk about are going to be Facebook, but I'm also going to touch on some of the other social media sites as well. So just keep in mind that just because I do talk about Facebook a little bit and some of the big facts about Facebook, really any of the things that we talk about can be implemented into any social media sites for you moving forward. Okay, so why would you use social media if you're not using it already? Well, most importantly, in most cases, it's absolutely free for you to use. Depending on if you like to buy ads or pay for some additional services, for the most part, social media is free for you to use. So why would you want to use social media in your business? Well, you get to tell your stories. This is a great place for you to show your knowledge of the market that you're working in. Obviously, this is a great way for you to network. You're going to be able to build your sphere of influence and promote you and your business. So definitely remember that social media is basically something that's going to complement your current business and what you're doing right now. It by no means should be replacing what you're doing. So it's just going to have to be something that you do in addition to your current marketing plan. Hopefully all of you have a marketing plan. So here are a few of the common mistakes that I would like to talk about that I do even see from some of our agents within the company is focusing on the product, not the people. So when you're on Facebook, when you're on any social media sites, you really should be focusing on the people and not your product, which, yes, we know that all of you sell property. But really, when you're online, what you should be doing online is building relationships, period. That's it. Sharing your properties and your open houses and your brand new listings over and over and over again is really going to just bore your audience and the people that are following you. It doesn't make them feel like you're very human. It just makes them feel like all you're doing is selling. Selling is okay, but what you should be selling really is you and the services that you can provide and the human side that you are going to be able to offer them. So basically building relationships. So yes, I definitely still want you to share your listings. I want you to share your solds. But please with that mix in some fun content, some things that show that you're actually kind of completing the process. So share a photo with you and a new homeowner at the closing table, obviously if they're willing to do that. Share some facts or some tips on how to get their home ready to sell. That type of information is going to go so much further than just posting your properties over and over again, because really that's only going to be appealing to one specific person, and that's a person that wants to buy that type of house, and that's what they're looking for. If you only share properties, you're really missing out on a large group of people that you could be building relationships with. Number two, and this is really a bad thing to do, is decide to buy into social media, build the profiles, and then do nothing with them. Because just because you decide to do nothing with those profiles, it doesn't mean that they're not there or able to be found. So if you take the time and you build those social media profiles, make sure that you have the time to move forward and to keep them active. Because even right now, if 6 months ago you built a Facebook business page and you haven't done anything with it since, it's still there. So if 6 months ago you were posting things about 4th of July weekends and that type of thing, and someone goes to your site right now, that's the information that they're going to see, which obviously it's going to be very apparent that you're not updating your profile and you're not keeping up with it. So that's a really big no-no. If you decide that Facebook or whatever site that you originally built a profile on is just not for you and it's not something that you want to move forward with, I would really recommend at least canceling that account or basically shutting it down for the time being, so that at least it's not there in public for people to find and then find that it has no relevant information on it. The next two kind of really go hand in hand. Being inefficient with your time. A lot of people really think that it takes a ton of time to post on social media. It really doesn't. There are so many tools and so many different ways for you to make the most of your time, and whatever your plan may be, which is the next thing, is not having a plan with your social media. Just like your business, you should have some type of a written plan when it comes to your marketing. So not having a plan and not having a good schedule as to how you're going to implement this new marketing strategy is really not going to be to your best interest. And the fifth one, really one of my big pet peeves, is not having a photo at all on social media, especially Facebook, LinkedIn, where you end up looking like everyone else with the little profile picture that's just the silhouette of a cartoon head. That's terrible. You absolutely need to put your picture out there. The other thing that I don't like to see is extremely outdated headshots for real estate agents. And of course, I kind of made a little funny here and put one of my outdated pictures up there, one of my beautiful glamour shots from, the late 80s, early 90s. So this would be terrible. I by no means would ever think to put something like this on my social media sites unless I'm looking for a good laugh. So definitely make sure that you, number one, put your photo on all of your social media sites, but number two, make sure that it's updated. If you had really long hair in your picture and now you have, absolutely short hair, you really need to take the time to get a new headshot done and put that on all of your marketing information. Okay, so let's go over a few things for Facebook. If you didn't know this, after Google, Facebook is the most trafficked website in the world with more than 1.1 billion active monthly users. So those are the active users. I'm one of those people. I know a lot of you are. So really, Facebook is probably one of the best social media sites for real estate agents because it's very visual. People like to see videos, pictures, and that's really what agents are hopefully best at when they're sharing their properties and sharing all the different things about their community. So here's just a few facts about Facebook. We talked about how many active monthly users there were, but keep in mind 751 million people, I'm sure that number has changed the second that I got that stat, are actually using Facebook mobile. So they're using it on their phone. And that's great for when you think about people that are out and about and they're looking at homes, they're looking at properties. You want to make sure that you're where they are, which they're on Facebook, and they're using it on their smartphones or their devices. Number 2, I'm absolutely guilty of this. 80% of mobile users check their phones early each morning before anything else. If you're like me, my iPhone is also my alarm clock. So it is really the first thing that goes into my hands, whether it's something that everyone agrees with or not. I pick up my phone, I check emails. So with that said, if you want to skip down just a little bit and you can see some of the best times to post on Facebook, that makes sense then. 6 to 8 a.m. is when most of your posts are going to be seen. And then again, 2 to 5 p.m. And then worst times, obviously, we have to sleep. Weekends, they say, are not good for posting on Facebook. I still think you should have some type of a presence, but just maybe make sure the things that you definitely want to be seen, you're posting on the weekdays between those key times. The other thing really take note of is shorter posts are going to get more engagement. So what does that mean? It basically means don't write an essay. Don't write an essay if you could easily share a picture and share 1 or 2 sentences that are going to say and get across the same message than just like the essay would. So less is more. We just live in a very fast-paced world that if you can get the information to them in a quick video or in a photo with a few words for consumers to read, that's where you're going to get your the best bang for your buck, basically, and the more engagement from any of your followers. So we talked about Facebook. I want to touch on a few other sites and really places that I think that you should be. Another social media site, and it's not here on the list, is going to be Twitter. That's kind of a love-hate for some people. I'm on Twitter. I don't really love it, but I'm there. I make it work for me. I make sure that I have some type of a presence every once in a while, but I focus most of my information on Facebook and on LinkedIn and obviously on our website. So LinkedIn, I do think that this is a really important social media site for you to be on. What's nice about LinkedIn is really you kind of just basically build a profile, make sure you answer all of their questions, what your current job is, how long you've been there, some past work experience, past education. Basically, it's an online resume. And make sure, the reason that you want to make sure that you're there is because LinkedIn, of all of the social media sites, is basically that's the professional social media site. And all of us are professionals, so you absolutely should have a LinkedIn profile. Again, make sure that you have a photo. This is super important on this social media site. And basically just make sure you have all of your information available for someone to look at, because bottom line is that people are Googling you. People are looking you up on social media sites to see where you are and what people are saying about you. So make sure that you are on LinkedIn. Number 2, and this is, for me, one of the biggest ones, I absolutely think every agent should be utilizing your CBWM, your CBWMH agent websites, and your blogs. These are an awesome feature for all of the agents to have. It's a great place to be able to direct your current clients and any of your potential clients to. You can do so much with these websites that I really think they're not just the basic agent website like they used to be. Really, you can customize these 110% and make sure that yours is a great source for, again, your clients and any of your future clients to go ahead and look at. YouTube is definitely a big one. If you had a chance to watch the webinar that I did about video marketing, I'll show you where those are too before I let you go today. Videos are it. You absolutely need to be experimenting with video a little bit, trying it out. If for nothing more than definitely your properties and your listings, but absolutely for your agent profiles. Don't make me read a long page or 3 paragraphs to find out about you and why I should select you as my agent. Why not do that in a quick 30-second, 1-minute video? These videos don't have to be long. They don't have to be professionally shot. Most of us in our hands, or probably sitting right next to you right now, is your smartphone or your tablet or your iPad or your laptop that you're on right now. I would really, I would assume that most of those are capable of taking videos. And if you don't have a device that can do something like that, I'm sure you have access to one, or I promise you can borrow my iPad or you can borrow my laptop to do a video. But I do think that you should start trying to put some video in your marketing. It absolutely does wonders for engagement on social media. People like to see pictures. People like to watch videos. So the one thing you want to remember if you do start using videos is you really don't want to go any longer than, I would say, 2 minutes tops. 1 minute, a minute and 20, that's really going to be your sweet spot, because the longer the video is, you're going to lose engagement. People will stop watching before your video is done, so keep that in mind. So definitely the time factor. This is probably people's biggest argument with me, is that they don't have time to use social media or to be on social media. So as far as I'm concerned, I do think it's something that can be done in as little as 10 minutes a day, probably less. I would think that that's actually a bit much. You have to think about really your downtime. When we all think that we're completely booked throughout the day, but there is downtime. There is time that we waste a little bit, and I'm sure that each of you can find at least 10 minutes a day to devote towards free marketing. That really is where your people are and where you should be to be able to really expand your marketing campaigns out there. So one thing that I wanted to share with you, and if any of you have ever listened to any of my social media classes or been to any of my classes in the past, I do think that, number one, you should absolutely be promoting you, your community, and all of those other things before you're promoting properties. I think that properties are important, but I think that they should be a very small percentage of what's being put on social media. You want to build a place where people are going to continue to come back for more, because you're giving them such a wide variety of information, not just the new listings or what you just sold. So this is kind of a calendar that I like to share with some of the agents. Now, this is not anything set in stone, but you can just kind of see that if you develop a nice weekly pattern, that you're never going to have a day where you can't think of what you should be posting. Really, you should develop some type of a schedule, stick to it, and you're going to be surprised. People will actually start to catch on to the fact that on Mondays, every Monday, you might ask a question, you do a poll, you have a quiz, maybe it's something funny. So this is just kind of an example for you to look at and really think of some of the things that you could be sharing on a daily basis. Now, for any of you that are on Facebook and use the business pages for your marketing, you probably know, and if you don't, this is going to be a nice time saver for you, you probably know that you can actually post statuses in advance. It's like a delayed posting feature that Facebook business pages offer. So what that means is that really on Sunday, if I wanted to sit down, or on Monday, if I wanted to sit down, I could actually schedule all the posts for my upcoming week ahead of time, and I could have it post at whatever day and time that I tell the system to post it. So that's a free feature in Facebook, a great thing to be able to use. That really, if you're using those business pages, take advantage of that, because there are going to be days that you're not going to have time, plain and simple. But if you set that up ahead of time, you know what days you're busy, then that way you can schedule those ahead of time and get them out. So here are just a few different ideas for you to use. Now, keep in mind, remember, Facebook, if we're going to stay focused on Facebook, weekends are kind of a downtime for viewing. So keep that in mind when you're posting any of your updates. Now, keep in mind also things like Thursday, Friday. Do you have any new listings? Do you have maybe open houses that are going to be open on Sunday? Thursday or Friday would be a good day to share that type of information. So again, let's start at the top. Share expert advice on Sunday. This is a great post-scheduling idea, which we just talked about. I'm sure most of you know Coldwell Banker has a home tip of the day, which they put out almost every single day. And those are actually in Coldwell Banker National's YouTube channel. Those are quick videos. They're usually about 30 seconds long. You could post those every single Sunday, and you wouldn't ever have to come up with any new content that was your own. You'd probably never run out of ideas for that one. Monday I have on here interaction. This is a good day to try to interact with some of your followers. So ask a question, poll, quiz, fill in the blank, whatever that might be. It can be home related, it can be community related, whatever you want. But this is a good way to engage any people that are actually following you. Tuesday I have on here personal likes. I think it's absolutely okay to put some of what makes you you and your personality into your content. So do you bake? Do you garden? Maybe that's the day that you share that type of information. Maybe you are part of a garden club and that's where you get to share some pictures of what you did on the past weekend. So Tuesday can kind of be an open day. Again, these don't have to stay in this order. It's just a way for you to see some different information that you can be sharing on a weekly basis. Wednesday, current news. This is also a great place. You're going to be able to show that you're involved in your community, that you know what's going on. I do think it should be positive news about your industry and your business, or again, your community. Don't share sad things. Don't share controversial items. Keep things positive. Keep them neutral. That's going to be the best way for you to, again, stay neutral with all of your clients and all of your followers. Thursday, I have on here local weekend happenings. I think this is a great way for you to share what's going on in your community in the weekend coming up. Again, doesn't mean that you have to go to all of these things, but it's very easy for us to go to our local chamber websites, see what's happening, and then post that on Facebook. In most of these cases, you're really not having to come up with much of your own content by yourself. You're going to be able to easily go to different websites, go to news channels, find the information that you want to share, and then turn around and share it right back to your audience. So again, I already mentioned this Friday, open houses, any possible new listings, and then Saturday, I think that would be a great day to just educate the people that are following you on Facebook. So what do I mean by this, where I say teach your followers something? Maybe you teach them how to get pre-approved for a mortgage. Maybe you teach them how to spruce up their front entrance for better showings. Maybe you teach them how to declutter. Whatever it might be, teach them something. Those are all the nice, great tips that you're going to be able to put out there that are going to fill in all the blanks when you don't have a new listing to share, when you don't have an open house coming up. So that's going to be a great way to keep all of your information and have a great variety, so that you keep people coming back even after you've sold their home or you've sold them a home. So you want to make sure that they keep coming back for more. Okay, well that is actually it for this webinar today. I do want to show you before we leave, if you're looking to see what future webinars are coming up, go to my website for CBWM, so cbwm.com/rwalker. You can see the two arrows there pointing to the two links right now at the top of my website. And then also, and it got cut off, right down here where this bottom arrow is pointing, and again, you can't see it right there, but you should see all of my social media site tabs. If you want to click on the YouTube channel, that's going to actually take you right to the training YouTube channel, and you're going to be able to see this webinar and any other previously recorded webinars that we've held. So that's a great place for you to look. And what I actually recommend you doing is when you go to that website, when you go to the YouTube website, just go ahead and subscribe to that channel. And then moving forward, anytime I load a new webinar or a new video into YouTube, it's going to come right to your email, which is great, so you won't ever have to keep looking for things. So, okay, well, with that said, hopefully that was nice, short, and sweet. It looks like we were about 20-ish minutes, 25 minutes, so hopefully everyone has a great week. I probably will see some of you tomorrow for the next webinar, and if I don't see you, Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2015. Thanks, guys.